Good afternoon. I'm Stephen Toop, and I have the honor of serving as President and Vice Chancellor of the University of British Columbia. Madam Chancellor, Mr. Chair of the Board of Governors, every year at Congregation, UBC bestows honorary degrees upon individuals who, in the opinion of the university community, have fit the criteria of excellence and eminence in their chosen field. John Furlong is one of those individuals, and I invite him now to step forward to receive his honorary degree. When John Furlong arrived in Canada more than 30 years ago from Ireland, a customs officer offered this greeting: "Welcome to Canada, make us better." After the extraordinary lengths that Mr. Furlong took to ensure the 2010 Winter Olympic and Paralympic Games truly resonated with Canadians from coast to coast to coast, it is clear that he took those words to heart. As CEO of the Vancouver Organizing Committee, Mr. Furlong realized early on that this was more than simply a sporting event. It was an opportunity to show the world and ourselves the real Canada and to express the values of this great land. Now, don't get me wrong, there would be medals, including our first gold on Canadian soil. Yes, there were some truly unforgettable performances. But for Mr. Furlong, it was also an opportunity to reach out to our First Nations, to produce the greenest games ever, and to strengthen communities with legacy venues like UBC's very own Doug Mitchell Thunderbird Sports Centre. This facility has already become a new social and athletic heart for our campus and the surrounding community. Of course, I am just scraping the surface here on the monumental task facing John Furlong and his team, including building the venues, security, ticketing, negotiating, sponsorships, marketing, broadcasting, medal ceremonies, the unforgettable opening and closing ceremonies. Madam Chancellor, for his extraordinary leadership, for helping to unlock unprecedented levels of pride in Canada, and, well, just for making us better, I ask you to confer the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa upon John Furlong.
By authority of the Senate of this university, I confer upon you, John Furlong, the title and degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
It now gives me great pleasure to ask Dr. Furlong to say a few words.
President, Chancellor, honored guests, students, ladies and gentlemen, it's an indescribable honor to be standing here, and I did bring some notes and put them in my pocket, and they just don't seem appropriate. So I'll maybe start somewhere else. I never thought I would see the day in Canada where I would receive this kind of recognition for anything that I thought was just our basic responsibility as Canadians to chip in and do everything you can to help your country to be successful. While I'm sitting here and I have the opportunity, and there are some wonderful young men and women graduating and getting ready to go out in the world, I have a few thoughts and a few reflections on things that happened along the way that I would share. You know, the day that I was selected to be the Chief Executive Officer for the Olympic Games, I woke up that morning thinking this is going to be a marvelous day for me. But there were some people who thought I wasn't really the right guy for the job, and they said so. And when I woke up that morning and I went outside and I looked at the newspaper, there was a headline in the paper that said that, you know, maybe it should have been someone else. And I realized at that moment that this was going to be difficult. It was going to be difficult to rally and bring people together and prove that I had the necessary credentials, the necessary skill, the necessary leadership ability to bring the organization together and deliver the games that every Canadian wanted. And so I set out to try to build an organization, build a team, find people of great courage and of great heart who would come together, who would abandon everything to do a good thing for Canada. And I discovered many things along the way. I discovered that the very basic lessons of life that we learn at the kitchen table at home, in the classroom, on the playing field, become everything to you when you get older, when you're facing adversity and difficulty. And I realized as I was leading my team and building my team that people were watching us. And when people are watching you, you can choose to do as much good or choose not to do anything. And we became very aware as an organization that the country was watching us and that they were counting on us and they were relying on us and they expected the best from us. So we embraced a compelling vision to try to make this not about the few, but about the many. And we tried very hard in whatever way we could to touch the soul of the country. And we embraced the values of teamwork, trust, excellence, creativity, and sustainability, which we translated into do what's right every time, whether you're in front of the camera or behind the camera. And they became our moral compass. They became our code for the work that we had to do. We don't have the time to talk about all of the things and challenges that we faced, but somehow we managed to get to the finish line and deliver great games. And I've received far too much credit for the work of many other people. But I'll tell you one story of something that happened here at the university during the games that really, I think, says it all about how things work in life. When you have influence and people are watching you and you're inspiring them, sometimes you don't meet them, you don't know who they are, but they're watching you and they're behaving accordingly, and in some cases they want to be you. But here at the university, about 4 days before the end of the 2010 games, one of the things that I was trying to do was wander around and meet all the volunteers. I'm sure there are volunteers here who contributed to the games, and I thank you for what you did and the effort that you made. I tried to go around and thank them and look them in the eye and tell them how important their contribution to the country was. And on that fourth last day, I met a woman from Eastern Canada who had applied to be a volunteer 4 times. And she had been rejected 3 times. And she said to me, "Finally, I got through, and you picked me." And she says, "I applied to be a volunteer against the best wishes of my husband and my daughters. But you have finally accepted me, and I took the training, and I've been here. And by the time I go home, I'll have been here for 7 weeks." She said, "And you know, I admire you for coming and thanking us, and thanking me for what I did. But I wanted to thank you for letting me be here, for letting me do what I did. She said, what you don't know about me is that a year from now, I will have lost a battle I've had for years with cancer. My husband was against me coming to Vancouver because we don't have so much time left. And while I've been here, he's been phoning me every day and telling me how proud he is of me. And my daughters are phoning me every night and telling me what a wonderful mother I am. And I'm going home knowing that my life has been enriched by the opportunity I had to give at these games. I go home knowing I've lived a better life. I've done something profound for my country. I've helped other people. I can't tell you how much this has meant to me and to my family. And so I think as we go out into the world and we lead, we have these influences. People follow us, and we need to use our influences and our efforts as wisely as we can to inspire the best out of people, to be the best example you can be every day, whatever it is that you choose to do. Recognize that people are looking you in the eye and they expect you to give your best, to live a good life, to be an honest and giving and caring person, someone who is worth following, someone whose example is inspiring. For me, that was the best lesson of the games, is to come out of it and realize the effect that you can have on people. In the end, and I know you were all watching television on the last day and sitting at your TV or in the streets or watching, 26.9 million of us watched Sidney Crosby put the goal into the back of the net. Nobody knows who was running the country that day. But it wasn't Sidney Crosby so much. Every Canadian got a stick on that puck. Every Canadian lived this because every Canadian was given an invitation. They chose to follow us. They chose to join in. They chose to be part of something great. We found something together which was special. And we may not all in our lives get a chance to be part of something as big as the Olympic Games, but we can all do a lot of good and we can all influence other people. And if the only thing you do with your life is to inspire people around you to be the best they can be every day, you'll get to the end of your career and you will think back proudly of the life you led. You will retire feeling wonderful about the contributions that you have made. I'm so delighted to be here with my daughter and my two sons and my daughter's baby, who were graduates of this great school. And this is a fantastic experience for me to be here. It's quite a lot more overwhelming than I thought it would be. I'm very proud of this. Thank you for having me here, and I wish you all the best of success. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Furlong.